wanted to be able to share an idea with you that has been a plaguing problem for founders, for CEOs, and for chief revenue officers that have sales teams. So I'm going to explain the situation, the problem and opportunity, and then the resolution. I am recording a video and a podcast and live on Instagram all at the same time. But I wanted to be able to share an idea with you that has been a plaguing problem for founders, for CEOs, and for chief revenue officers that have sales teams. So I'm going to explain the situation, the problem and opportunity, and then the resolution. Here is the situation. We don't have time to prospect is an excuse you constantly hear from either yourself as founder-led sales, or you hear it from the chief revenue officer who's a bit of a player coach, who needs to be coaching a small team of sellers and also part of the deal flow. And or you have account-based sellers that say, listen, I'm so busy working on the deals, I don't have time to prospect. But they know in their heart of hearts, prospecting is key to the growth of the business. The act of prospecting. So the challenge, though, is that the act of actually sending LinkedIn messages to prospects that are first-degree connections or second-degree connections, that feels like a $5 an hour task. You don't seem to have time to be able to do this, to actually build a list of prospects on LinkedIn, to engage them one at a time. This seems so laborious. It's such a task that appears like beneath us or remedial for us, but the outcome is it's a $500 an hour value creation because our own, like let's use our own first degree LinkedIn connections. Our own first degree LinkedIn connections will open doors at a rate of 6 to 7 times easier than our second degree connections. And many of us have thousands of first degree connections that if you were to go into that total addressable market and narrow it down from a TAM map to a SAM and a SOM, so serviceable, obtainable market, there are probably dozens or hundreds of past customers, of acquaintances and contacts you've met at conferences, at people that you've had dinner with that would be an ideal fit for you now, but you don't have the time to squirrel through LinkedIn to be able to engage those teammates. But you know that if you did, it would open up a lot of doors. And consistency is the key to everything in prospecting. So in a moment, I'm going to share my screen. There is a resolution. So this all began years ago. I started scaling Sales for Life. And in founder-led sales, I recognized that I was the bottleneck and I was the opportunity. I, with a social network of plus 20,000 connections, when I prospected chief revenue officers, chief marketing officers, founders on LinkedIn, I opened doors. And the more that I did it and the more consistent that I would have sales qualified meetings all the time. But the second I turned off the taps because I couldn't find the time to do it because of my travels, all of a sudden the lead flow would dry up. And it's like a waterfall. You turn off the tap and it doesn't happen immediately, but then the waterfall starts to dissipate and then you wake up and you have a huge gap in your pipeline coverage. So I started testing this a couple of years ago where I had an offshore resource actually use Google Remote, or Zoho actually has like a remote desktop app where they would log in VPN as me. And we would have different campaigns. We'd have a campaign for what's called pipeline coverage. So existing opportunities we had yet to close. They were closed, not won, no decision. They kind of lingered around opportunities. That's bucket one. Bucket two might be a series of campaigns to net new prospects that are second degree connection I've never met. Then there could be first degree connections that I'm unearthing old relationships from past customers, past engagements. Long of the short is it started to work. And this teammate would log in through these remote tools at 6 o'clock in the morning. Every morning, I would have a spare laptop in my home office, and they would log in for a couple hours a day and act as me. We would have these campaign scripts. We would have a waterfall of messages known as a cadence and a sequence, and it booked meetings. But it also was then reliant on me logging in every day at 6 in the morning to give access to my computer. Well, there is yet another alternative. So we partnered with a company called Expandy. And the way that Expandy works, and I'm going to share my screen, is it acts as the VPN system. So as I share my screen on my computer, you can see this tool allows you to be able to VPN in as a third party and develop campaigns to which you can develop campaigns against a geography, a set of connections, first degree versus second degree, a vertical or an industry, a set of named accounts you want to go after. You build a list of 100 top accounts, you pull them into a list, and then it allows you as a remote offshore talent prospect on behalf of you, the founder, or you, the chief revenue officer, or you, the account executives who claim to be too busy to do it, but you want the reward of all those opportunities. And this is what we're able to do now. So every day we log in as you using the campaigns that we build and the scripts that we've developed, co-developed, I might add. Now all of a sudden we're engaging up to 50 or more net new conversations every day. And what does that offer you? Now all of a sudden you're booking meetings with people that you've done business with in the past. You're unearthing old opportunities. You're growing your social network and actually booking meetings with your total addressable market, which you didn't have time to do, or email was also so muddy, you found that email wasn't getting you where you needed to go. But now LinkedIn offers you this incredible, like this one-way street direct into their inbox to have conversations with second degree connections you don't know, but you can be very personalized. And you, the founder, you, the chief revenue officer, you, the AE, are that subject matter expert that they want to listen to and have conversations with. But you didn't have time to do the prospecting, but somebody's doing that on behalf of you. So I want to be able to share this. I'm going to kind of share my screen again. This tool allows you to build campaigns of a group of accounts that are named accounts or by geography or by vertical. It allows you to develop a cadence and a sequence of messaging, and it allows you to have systematic up to 50 prospect conversations, whether those are in your first degree connections, your second degree connections, every single day. That's 1,000 conversations a month. That's 12,000 conversations a year that you weren't having. How, if you even 1% of those turned into sales qualified meetings, what does that mean to you? And that is what gets unearthed when you have consistency. But now you can have $5 an hour tasks done for you so that you can reap the reward of $500 an hour value creation. So how does this work? Again, you use a tool called Expandy, connects to your LinkedIn. It allows others in the world to remote VPN in, building a safe portal for them to enact as you, to prospect as you, and to engage your community so that you can wake up as you sleep. Prospecting is being done, and as you wake up, opportunities are being created for you as you sleep. So I wanted to be able to share this with my community. It's such an incredible ability. We call it a digital prospector, an ability for you to reap the reward of consistent prospecting, and you being the brand, you being the face to your market. This is great for founder-led sales or player coach chief revenue officers or account executives who deem too busy to be able to actually do the act of the prospecting. So I hope you find this valuable. So I'm going to end my Instagram live stream, and I hope that those watching found this really valuable as we were sharing this on a podcast episode. Thanks a lot.